welcome to the 5-Minute Fiddle Lesson with Michelle. Here we're just going to talk about some tips and tricks for making your violin sound a little bit better. A lot of times student violins come with just kind of package deals, and you can do some little things to make your violin sound better or make it feel more comfortable. So let's dive in. Also, these are good little present ideas for the fiddler or violinist in your life if you're looking for little gifts too. So first off is a shoulder rest. When your violin comes, oftentimes it does not come if it's in a student package with a shoulder rest. Some violinists don't use shoulder rest, and that's perfectly fine too. I like a shoulder rest. It just helps aid in comfort of holding the violin properly for me, and it just makes my shoulder not hurt as much and my neck not hurt as much. So I like this Everest brand, and if you'll notice there's a little 4x4, which means for full size. So you want to make sure your shoulder rest matches the size of your violin. I like this one just because it has some nice thick rubber stoppers on the end so it doesn't scratch your violin, and the padding is really nice so it feels comfortable on your shoulder. When you're putting it on your violin, you just want to put the scroll behind you on your left side, and then you just slide it on. Let's see if I can help you see that. And so I tell my students to look for the smiley face. So the curve should go towards the end of your violin. And then it just helps to hold the violin so you don't have to create stress in your neck. So that would be something to look for with the making your violin more comfortable. Another thing that might make your violin more comfortable is the chin rest. So this is the shoulder rest that goes on the shoulder. The chin rest is where you place your chin. This is my old chin rest. It's a wooden one, and I used it for many years, and I've tried different ones. But I just discovered about 5 years ago this new one, and it's called a Whitner Composite Hypoallergenic chin rest. And this is what it looks like. I like the angle of it. It feels really comfortable. It helped me with some neck problems that I had. And then also it's really easy to install. It comes with a little screwdriver, and I like it because it's protecting your violin. It doesn't scratch it. I like it too because it's more centered on the violin. If you can see, it's kind of more centered this way. My other one was a little more towards this side, and so I was having to reach over to get proper violin technique, and this one's just a little bit more comfortable for me. You can purchase that on Amazon for about $18, so that would make it more comfortable. Another thing you might want to look into are strings. If you just got a new violin, sometimes they come with old strings, or if you got an older violin, you don't know the last time it was changed, so I would get a new set of strings. I like the Dominant brand. I've tried a lot of different strings, and I just always go back to these. I like the sound on my instrument and what it sounds like underneath my ears. But you can try a lot of different brands out there and see which ones you prefer. I would stay away from the cheaper side of violin strings, just because usually they don't last as long, or they have a real tinny sound, and that can make it not sound as pretty. So you can get a package of all 4 strings, G, D, A, and E, on Amazon for about $50. So that would be something you could look into. Another thing you could look into is rosin. When you got your violin, it might have come with some rosin. If not, you will need rosin to make your bow really grab the strings. And something that you'll want to be aware of is when it comes, it's usually really slick. And so what you'll want to do is just get like a key or some like nail clippers, and you'll want to rough it up so that the dust and the rosin will stay on the strings. It's too slicky when it first gets there, so you'll just want to scratch it up, and it won't look pretty anymore, but just scratch it up with like some nail clippers so it kind of looks like that. And then you can rosin your bow, and it'll help the horsehairs to stay and grip the strings so it doesn't sound too like you're skating on your strings. So I like, for rosin, the one that I prefer is this Sherman's Violin rosin. I'll hold it up there so you can see it. I don't know if you can see it okay. But that's the brand that I like, and you can pick up a rosin on Amazon for about $7. So great little stocking stuffer. Also, some other things that you might consider to make your violin sound better is the bow. Some student bows are great, but then other ones, if the little tip that you want to look for is if you look down and close one eye, if your violin bow kind of is warped or curved, that's going to be tricky to play and you probably won't produce the greatest sound. So you want to make sure that you have a nice straight stick, the wood part of the black part of your violin bow. I like a carbon fiber bow. I tend to play a little more aggressive fiddly style, so I like the carbon fiber bow, and you can pick up one of these on Amazon for about $60. If you have a really nice bow, then you'll want to get it rehaired, and in my area it costs about $50 to rehair that, so it's just whichever way you'd prefer. Why you want to make sure that you have a good bow is if you look at the little horsehairs under a microscope, there are little like hooks on the horsehair, and after a while those hooks kind of flatten out, and so that makes it so it doesn't grip the strings like it should. So just be aware of if you're feeling like your bow's kind of unbalanced or something like that, you might want to look into a new bow. Another thing that you'll just want to have in your case is just a nice little cotton cloth. This is great because when you do have rosin on your bow, you'll get little white dust on your bow, and a little cotton cloth will help wipe off the dust and keep your varnish nice. And then it also, you just want to wipe off if you have any rosin that might get up on the fingerboard. So a cloth is really nice to have in your case. Or an old cotton t-shirt would be great. Speaking of polishing your violin, it's good to take care of your violin. It is an investment, and so you'll want to maybe invest in some polish and cleaning. This is the brand that I use, and I'm going to hold it up there so you can see. I like this one, and I'll show you this little chart after at the end. But this is great polish. It cleans and revives the varnish. So you want to do that, I don't know, every week that I do it, or maybe you should, but I do it probably a good once a month. Just really clean your violin up. Another thing that you'll want to consider, just some little helps or gifts, ideas, is a metronome. Of course, there's tons of free apps on your phone, so you almost don't need to purchase one of these anymore, but for practicing and getting faster with your music, a metronome is a great thing to have. Another thing that you could look on, if by chance your pegs are slipping, you can get these little peg drops, which are great, and I'm going to hold that up so you can see that. They're great little peg drops that you can just drop in to make your pegs, so if they're having a hard time staying in position, you can use the little peg drops, and those help, and those are about, let's see, $10 on Amazon. The polish is about $10 on Amazon. So a couple other things maybe. If you play fiddle and you're doing backbeats, this is just a little guard that you can put right here on your instrument to save the wood. This is kind of a fun little thing to have. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, but if I'm practicing a lot and playing some good backbeats, I like to do that just to save the edge of my violin. So that's another little thing you could get. And last but not least, it sounds dumb, but I would make sure you have a good pair of clippers in your case or in your practice area. Going back to your bow, if you ever do lose a hair on your bow, you don't want to pull the string because they're not glued in there. They're just like placed in there. So if you pull one of the hairs out, it makes it looser, so then more hairs might fall out. So if you lose a hair, you just want to clip it at the very edge of the frog and at the top of the tip so that more hairs don't come out. So anyway, of course you can always look into different cases, and there's humidifiers for cases and things like that, but hopefully this little list will get you going and help you and to maybe help your violin sound a little better. So I'm just going to hold up this little chart here for just a minute, or you can freeze frame it so you can see the things that we talked about today. All right, I hope you have a great day, and please subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I will see you next time. Thanks so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.